This is 99.5 Global FM, your number one source for R&B in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
Global
Today can be the turning point in your life by making a simple decision.
Fundamental questions of navigation. Where am I? Where am I going? And how do I get there from here?
I invite the leaders of our planet to ask themselves these three questions before they make any crucial decisions.
But if you don't make decisions, you're going to stay right where you are.
We are all map makers.
We are in a time of transition.
If we're going to change, we have to change the direction that we're going.
Our planet needs leaders who know where they want to go.
When we change the direction we're going, then we want to make sure we're going in the right direction.
Leaders who can see the big picture.
Because if we're not, we're going to either go backwards or we're going to stay where we are.
Recognizing the psychological and the spiritual shifts and changes that need to be made, often from the inside to the outside.
To be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm.
Complex journeys require navigation. The path to the truth is one such journey. This is your GPS. Hairstyling services provided by J.D. Edwards Salon and Spa, Palmdale Shopping Plaza, Madeira Street. Accessories provided by Chevette Williamson Jewelry. Standout jewelry for standout women.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. I am your host, Michelle Malcolm. As always, it's a pleasure to be in your company today. Thank you so much for tuning in and making GPS a part of your afternoon routine. Today is Wednesday, and every Wednesday we do a show that focuses on wellness. And today we're going to be focusing on something that is now apparent to be a threat to the Bahamas. Not just the Bahamas, but certainly we've been hearing quite a lot about it over the past couple of days because it's on the rise here. And I'm talking about dengue fever. So we're going to be looking at dengue fever today. We're going to be looking at the way it spreads, how it affects the body, the symptoms, factors that contribute to its spread, research and investigation that's going on, treatment options, the whole works. And we're going to try to go as deep as we can during today's show to talk about dengue fever so you can get a better understanding of how it could possibly impact you or your loved ones and what you can do to better protect yourself against this. And so that being said, let's tell you how you can jump in on the conversation. The telephone numbers to call are 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, and the WhatsApp line for messages and calls is 801-0271, 801-0271. We're streaming live on Facebook on the official Michelle Malcolm and Global 99.5 FM pages. Please like and share the show. Let everyone know we're on the air. Talking about dengue fever today. And we're also streaming live to YouTube. You can catch us on Cable Bahamas Channel 974, and you can download the Global 99.5 FM app to your smart device and check us out using that apparatus. And of course, radio. So all of you who are tuned in by way of radio, whether you are Providence, Grand Bahama, throughout the archipelago of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, or anywhere outside the country. Welcome to you all, near and far. And so we've been hearing a lot about dengue fever over the past couple of days. Just a little bit of trivia for you. What would you say is the number one killer of human beings? Is it man against man violence, like people being shot by guns, or murders, or man on man violence? Is it things like a pandemic? Is it accidents? Is it malpractice by the medical professionals? The answer to all of the above is no. No. The number one killer of mankind, of human beings, is the mosquito. You heard me. Mosquitoes and the diseases that they carry account for more deaths of humans than anything else. The little tiny mosquito kills more humans than humans kill humans. So yeah, they're not just pesky and annoying when they buzzing around your head in the middle of the night when you're trying to sleep, or when they, uh, catch you off guard and leave you with this bite that is itchy and annoying. They are dangerous to the human race. Number one killer of humans is the mosquito. And so that makes today's conversation that much more relevant, because it is the mosquito who is responsible for spreading dengue fever and other diseases. So we're going to focus a lot today on how that mosquito spreads this virus and how it affects you as an individual, how it affects the persons who have become infected by it. And we're going to go, deep today in terms of really helping you to understand from a scientific and biological um, perspective as to what it's really doing within the body, and how it, makes people as sick as it does for those who it does make sick. Because like other viruses, it doesn't affect everybody the same way. So we're going to look at that today. We're going to look at how it is spread. We're going to look at the phases. We're going to look at the symptoms. We're going to look at factors involved, research and investigation, treatment options, the whole works. So every and anything that you wanted to know about dengue fever, we're going to try to cover that today. Now, as always, I'm going to say, I'm not a medical doctor, nor am I pretending to be one. Okay, so I've done quite a bit of research from who I consider to be authoritative sources on the matter. So much of what you will hear during the show today will actually be clips that I would have found to give us a better understanding of dengue fever inside and out. So just to set the stage for the discussion today, here is the latest pronouncement from our Minister of Health, Dr. Michael Darville, who is warning about what now appears to be a rapid spread of dengue fever here in the Bahamas. So let's take a listen to what he has to say to get a picture of where we are.
There's 52 cases in the Bahamas now. As we speak, there's about 6 people in hospital with dengue. We found cases in Grand Bahama. And so I believe we have 3 confirmed cases in Grand Bahama, with the possibility of an admission if that's not the case, or maybe 2. Of course, I said before, we are concerned about any rise in cases. We've been looking at the demographic associated with the increase, and over the weekend we had an additional 19 or 20 cases added to the 30 cases that we had before then. We're once again telling the Bahamian people to look at your surroundings, ensure that you don't have no buckets of water lying around that can cause a growth of the Aedes aegypti mosquitoes. We're up fogging, but of course fogging only knocks what's airborne, and if you have these receptacles filled with water around the home, you continue to breed. That is concerned. So the Department of Environmental Health is working very closely with the ministry to really get the message out and to be very aggressive with the cases that we do find in the residents, where we go in and we do a SWOT check and fix the situation surrounding.
So at the last count, from what I remember hearing on the news, I know it was over 50 cases in the Bahamas. And the concern is that that number will continue to rise. Now, I have to say that the Ministry of Health has been, as you would have indicated in that clip, trying to do its part to keep the mosquito population down. I know in the area where I live, there's been that fogger that has driven through my neighborhood several times. So I know that they are making efforts to keep the population of mosquitoes down, because I've heard and smelt the stuff that they've been spraying. Heard the little vehicle that's driving through the neighborhoods spraying some solution into the air that they say is not harmful to humans and pets, but will kill mosquitoes. I don't know, what is in that solution, but they say that this will help to keep the mosquito population down. But we have to do our part in not providing reservoirs in which the mosquito population can actually spread. So the spraying, the fogging can only take care of the mosquitoes that have already been hatched and are flying around, but it doesn't take care of the eggs that are developing in standing water. And this is why it's important for us to make sure that we're not contributing to the spread by having standing water around our yards that can make it easier for them to spread. Now, did you know that it is the female mosquito that is responsible for most mosquito bites, because they are the ones that need the blood from you and I to develop their eggs. So the males ain't so much the ones checking for us. It's them doggone females that are after your blood. Another interesting fact about mosquitoes, it's the females, because they need your blood to make their eggs, to fertilize their eggs per se. So it's the pesky female that is causing all of the problems. So in this clip that has been issued by the Pan American Health Organization, this is a broad overview of the phases. We're going to go into more details throughout the show, but this is a broad overview of the various phases of dengue fever that we need to be aware of.
Dengue has 3 phases: febrile, critical, and recovery. The febrile phase may last up to 7 days, with sudden fever, general discomfort, erythema or reddening of the skin, headache, and eye, muscle, and joint aches and pains. During this phase, the patient needs rest, hydration, fever reducers, and medical observation. The patient may enter the critical phase between the 3rd and 7th day. This begins when the fever drops, and while the patient may feel better, rest and hydration must continue. During this phase, the warning signs of severe dengue may appear. These warning signs are persistent vomiting, edema or swelling, intense abdominal pain, irritability, drowsiness, and bleeding. One warning sign is enough to immediately seek healthcare services. If no warning signs appear, the recovery phase begins between the 7th and 10th day. The patient improves overall and is able to return to everyday life little by little. Identifying dengue's phases and warning signs in a timely way saves lives. This is a message from the Pan American Health Organization.
So again, we're going to go a little deep today to give you more and more information so you can have a full understanding by the end of this show. Because, our health officials, they're telling you, it's spreading. They're telling you, um, you know, not to have standing water. But once again, I think that we are dropping the ball by not taking the time to really um, go in depth and explanation as to how it impacts the body. Giving people more knowledge, because I personally believe that the more knowledge you have about a particular thing, the more you are able to make an intelligent decision, make an informed decision. You may be among the people who hear about dengue spreading, and you hear them say, uh, make sure you don't have any standing water around your yard. But you may be like, yeah, whatever. Not, not understanding the implications of what that standing water is doing. So I thought, when I was trying to decide what I was going to cover today, um, and then I heard the announcement on the news, I said, you know what? Maybe it's time for us to look at dengue uh, in a more comprehensive manner to help our people to understand why we need to be paying attention to this and why you need to play your role in ensuring that we don't contribute to the continuous spread. So that is what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be, uh, and I thought that I'd start the show with a bit of an overview, um, and then as we progress to go deeper into it, so you can get a better understanding of what it does to your body, why some people don't get as sick as others, and what is being done around the world to try to eradicate this. And some interesting things are happening um, that are being done around the world as it relates to research and technology and trying to outsmart the female mosquito and all this good stuff. And we're going to learn more about all of that today. Okay? So if you haven't already done so, please like and share the show. Let everybody know that GPS is on the air. And we're talking about this dengue fever that we've heard so much about, but in my opinion, not enough about. Not enough in-depth information. And so that's what we're going to be dealing with on the show today. So in this first portion of the show, I'm pretty much just giving you an overview, like a broad stroke overview. And then in each of the segments thereafter, we're going to go deeper. Okay? So I really want to encourage you to pay close attention. Um, Make sure that everybody who can watches us live, share it as much as you can. And then for those who can't, at least it'll be there for them to watch later on to gain this information. Because again, I believe that the more we know and understand, the the more responsibility that we will take for doing our part to try to keep this thing under wraps. Okay. All right. So we've heard about the spread of it in the Bahamas. We know that it is on the rise. Some people are actually hospitalized as a result. We got a brief overview of the symptoms as released by the Pan American Health Organization. And in this next clip that I'm going to play, we're going to learn more of an overview of the symptoms. The Pan American Health Organization video just went into the phases. And now I'm going to give you guys another clip that is going to give you an overview of the symptoms with the understanding that so you can really understand what is happening with you or your loved one if you have contracted dengue fever, or what you need to do to protect yourself so that you don't contract dengue fever and become victim to one of those pesky mosquitoes. All right. So here now is a simplified overview of the symptoms of dengue fever.
Most people infected with dengue do not develop any symptoms. In the 25% of people who do become unwell, symptoms start about 5 to 8 days after being infected, often with a sudden onset of fever up to 40 degrees Celsius, severe headache, pain behind the eyes, muscle and joint pains, and a generalised redness of the skin which looks a bit like sunburn. Some patients feel nauseous, vomit, and have tummy pain. The fever continues for about 5 to 6 days, and around day 3 or 4 of the illness, a skin rash can develop, characterised by red, sometimes slightly raised spots. Symptoms usually settle within a few days of this rash developing, although some patients do experience more prolonged fatigue. During the recovery phase, patients may also find that their skin peels, similar to the peeling you can see following sunburn. Some people do become severely unwell with dengue. These complications are usually seen in people living in endemic areas, in particular young children and older adults with comorbidities, for example diabetes or kidney disease. Complications are very rare in travellers. This is because severe dengue does not occur with the first dengue infection, but rather on subsequent reinfections with a different serotype of the dengue virus. Recurrent infections are much more likely to be seen in people living in endemic countries who are constantly exposed to mosquitoes throughout the rainy seasons, rather than in short-term travellers. Patients who go on to develop severe dengue start to show symptoms and signs about day 3 or 4 of their illness. Warning signs include mucosal bleeding, severe tummy pain, persistent vomiting, fluid accumulation, and liver enlargement. Severe dengue is characterised by bleeding and multi-organ failure, and in some cases, particularly in children, it can lead to death. However, with good medical supportive care, deaths from severe dengue are usually less than 1%.
All right. That is actually good news, less than 1%. But yet it's still something that we ought to be concerned about. Because as you would have heard, we are actually in that region where dengue fever persists, or where the actual mosquito that causes it can, be very much present and around us. And so we obviously have to pay close attention to this. It's to me concerning that we're up to 52 cases. Well, I think it was 52, what I heard on the news, but I know it was more than 50 cases. And that number is expected to obviously go up to the point where Ministry of Health officials are becoming more and more concerned. And I dare say that we should all be concerned enough to do our part to make sure that this thing doesn't get out of hand. So again, the numbers to call 3260271. 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, and WhatsApp is 801. That's area code 242-801-0271, 801-0271, especially for those of you who may be outside the country who want to contribute to the conversation. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Good afternoon, Michelle. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm okay. Yeah, Michelle, this looks like the next scare them and fear them again tactic from the government to this dengue fever thing.
It's not going to go as far as the pandemic went, that's for sure. It won't go that far.
Yeah, you never, you hear what they done talking about? Okay, they say all these other things. Oh, you never. See, Michelle, this time, just like how the dengue thing came on, and they could try to drop almost the same foolishness when we know that with this year dengue fever, right? All you need is a little bit of a poor leaf and thing, man. That's it. Because it goes to the T cells, that's it.
And you know, I'm a big proponent of going natural now, so you ain't got to convince me or nothing.
Listen here, Michelle. We are natural beings, man. And the problem is allopathic medicine, all right? Just because they're trying to pass the marijuana thing and they put it for allopath, like doctors and hospitals to be distributing. They will never have a cure. Because I mean, like, look, the whole thing is just a fraud. This dengue fever is nothing. Dengue being here already, and we know that all you need is liver four leaf. You crush that up and you drink that, man. That's it.
But here's the thing, though: if you give us an opportunity to develop the show, you will learn that if you've had dengue once, chances are you may not even have known you had it. It's a simple thing like a little flu at that. But if you get another strain, it could cause you some challenges. Listen, hold on.
Yeah.
You don't have to convince me about fear mongering. That's not what this show is about today. And trust me, they don't need dengue fever to try to create the fear, because they about to put on another round of COVID. And that's what that's supposed to be doing.
Hey, Michelle, you noticed the other day, American Congress came up and said, well, we have to come to terms that they are aliens, all right? You see, the real deal is that it's about control. That's all it is, about control. And ultimately chip everybody. That's what it's all about, man. Because when we're looking at the medical fraternity, they do not care about people. They don't care about life. Because if they did, we were going to have all this sickness around. Even the government with this, whatever, most of the programs they come up with, ain't no good for us. And it's just nonsense. We got to feel like little children inside a real world. We are adults. But I mean, it's just nonsense going on, man. Just foolishness.
All right. Thanks for calling.
Enjoy your day.
You too. Anybody who watches this show knows I'm a certified holistic health coach. I believe in natural remedies. I believe in micronutrients. I believe in the body's ability to fight off disease, heal, etc. That does not say that we cannot provide you with information, particularly on how to protect yourself. Because, and again, this is not what I believe will be used to try to instill fear in y'all again. There's another round that they're already talking about now in the United States of, they can be trying to get y'all to lock down again and wear masks again and travel restrictions again, all that coming again, right? But they're going to use COVID again to do that. Another strain of COVID. Dengue fever won't affect as many people around the world as they will need it to in order to try to pull that off on a global scale. So while I understand where the call is coming from, I do not foresee where this could be used on the level that the pandemic was in order to get people to comply with what some say an agenda, a global agenda. And I have to be very careful what I say and how I say it, so I don't get put back in Facebook and YouTube jail because they didn't lock me up before. But anyhow, that's another story. All right, so let's take this break. On the other side of the break, we are going to be talking about in more details the symptoms, so that if you are one of the persons who have had it before, and now this is our second or third round, and you may be wondering, well, how come I getting sick this time around? We're going to explain all of that to you and more after the break. Stay with us. This is GPS.
Global Paradigm Shift will return after this.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 hyperimmune egg powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, tints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Trackline, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires, cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Longevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your longevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Tiki Bikini Hut at Junkanoo Beach. Great food, cool tropical drinks, and family fun in the sun.
And welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm here. On this Wellness Wednesday, we're talking about dengue fever, everything that you need to know about it. The telephone numbers to call are 3260271 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, and the WhatsApp line for messages and calls is 8010271. 8010271. We are streaming live to Facebook on the official Michelle Malcolm and Global 99.5 FM pages, and we're also streaming live to our YouTube channels. You can find us on Cable Bahamas Channel 974, or you can download the Global 99.5 FM app to your smart device and check us out there. And a huge welcome to all of you who are tuned in by way of radio from anywhere and everywhere across the Commonwealth of the Bahamas and outside. Thank you so much for tuning in and making GPS a part of your afternoon routine. You know, Wednesdays, people just tune out because they figure, oh, she'll be talking about health today. And I don't get that, because your health is your wealth. If you could have all the money in the world, but if you're sick and you can't enjoy it, what's the point? So it baffles me why, people say, oh, Miss Malcolm, you need to be talking more politics on Wednesday. People ain't interested in their health. That's just crazy. That's crazy. Because you don't realize how valuable your health is until you lose it. So my goal as a certified holistic health coach is to make sure that you know what you need to do to protect yourself and maintain good health, no matter what the disease or condition may be. So again, I thought it was important, based on the fact that dengue fever seems to be on the rise here in the Bahamas, that we talk about dengue fever, to give you all of the information that you need to know and understand, so that we can, get a better grip on this thing. So if you haven't already done so, like and share the show. Let everybody know that they need to be listening to this, because we're providing you with information here that you're not receiving from the healthcare professionals, because they're just giving you the basic information from what I've seen, unless I missed something. And obviously, much of the mainstream media is only regurgitating what they've been given. So I thought it was important to give you guys more, to go deeper into this, so you could get a better understanding of what is happening, and hopefully make more informed decisions as to how you can be a part of the solution. Okay, so that being said, in the first segment of the show, we pretty much gave you a brief overview of the conditions in the Bahamas, of the 3 phases of dengue fever, and a brief overview of the symptoms that can be involved. And the rest of the show, we're going to go much deeper into more details, not in such a way that you can't understand it. I found a really great series of videos that explains it in more detail, but still in a way that is understandable. So that, coming with, because I found a lot of videos, some of them to me were just a bit technical and, more of the language that the medical professionals would use. But I found a really great series that explains it, goes into more details than you would have seen in the previous videos I played, but in such a way that it's understandable. Okay? So, the first one of those I'm going to play is going to go into more details about the symptoms that you can expect if you end up contracting dengue fever.
Dengue. Dengue is a mosquito-borne and pandemic-prone viral infection prevalent in many parts of the world. Virus. Dengue is caused by a virus belonging to the Flaviviridae family, of which there are 4 distinct serotypes: dengue virus 1, dengue virus 2, dengue virus 3, and dengue virus 4. It is important to have knowledge of these serotypes because recovery from a dengue infection will provide lifelong immunity against that serotype only. Subsequent infections from other serotypes will increase the risk of developing severe disease. Transmission. The virus is spread via the bite of a mosquito, mostly by Aedes aegypti, and to a lesser extent by Aedes albopictus mosquito. Important to note here is the fact that these very same mosquitoes are involved in the spread of other viral diseases, including chikungunya and Zika. The mosquito can become infectious when it bites an infected individual. It then carries the dengue virus and injects them into another individual during its next meal. Dengue doesn't spread directly from one patient to the next. These mosquitoes can typically be found laying eggs near standing water in containers that hold water like buckets, bowls, animal dishes, and others. The incubation period of dengue is 4 to 10 days once the mosquito has bitten the individual. Symptoms. Dengue can cause a wide range of symptoms in a patient, from a subclinical disease in which the patient might be unaware of the infection to a severe infection in which the patient exhibits severe flu-like symptoms. The symptoms of dengue include high-grade fever around 40 degrees C or 104 Fahrenheit, along with nausea, vomiting, which is generally non-bilious, rash, aches and pains typically involving the area behind the eye, which is termed as retroorbital pain, severe headache, generalized muscle pain, and joint pains. In case of a mild encounter, the patient will recover in about a week. In some cases, however, symptoms can worsen and become life-threatening. Blood vessels become affected adversely and eventually get leaky. The clot-forming platelets in the blood decrease in number, which leads to increased susceptibility of the patient to bleed. This condition is known as severe dengue or dengue hemorrhagic fever. This is characterized by severe abdominal pain, persistent vomiting at least 3 times in 24 hours, bleeding from the patient's nose, called epistaxis, bleeding from gums, bleeding under the skin, which appears like purplish bruises, feeling tired and restless, blood in the urine, also known as hematuria, blood observed in the stool and vomit, and eventually the patient can slip into shock. They may have cold, clammy skin, tachycardia, and hypertension.
So as you can hear, it can be quite nasty. But again, for most people, I need to stress this because I'm not trying to be a fearmonger. For most people, many people won't even know that they have it with that first exposure or first round. The first time you are infected, the symptoms may be so mild, you may not even consider that you have dengue, or you may not have any symptoms at all. So that's the majority of people who fit into that category, where it really is not going to be a very big deal to you. But if you are one of those people who had it before and didn't even know you had it or had very mild symptoms, and then you get another strain, and again, we're going to go into more details about why that happens from a biological standpoint, so you get an understanding of what's happening. But if you just so happen to be one of those people who've had it before, and the immune system was able to fight it off no problem, and then you get a second round with it with another strain of it, that is where it now could potentially become a problem. Okay? So for the people who you're hearing who are hospitalized right now, chances are that they fell into that category of persons who were infected before and may not have even known it or would have had very mild symptoms. So for the sake of safety, this is why you should care and make sure that you are not creating a perfect breeding ground for these mosquitoes, because you may have had it before and don't even know. And so this is why it's important that you do your part and not make life comfortable for the pesky mosquito that um, can transmit dengue fever. We know that this mosquito has been in the Bahamas now, it ain't just reach here. So it's a very real possibility that persons may have been infected with dengue before and just not know. And so this is why you need to be paying attention to this, because this, even though you may not have known that you had it before, if you get exposed again, this might be your second time around or your third time around, but more so the second time around. And as you will learn as we go throughout the show, why your immune system won't know how to handle that next strain, even though it would have learned how to fight off the original strain that you would have had and not necessarily known you would have had. So this is why it's important to pay attention to this. And yeah, there are natural things that you can do, but some people could become very, very ill, as you would have heard in that last clip, and it could become life-threatening for a small segment of the population. So again, this is not to in any way cause any kind of fear-mongering. This is just giving you basic information that you need and to pay attention to make sure that you are protecting yourself, protecting your family, especially your children and the elderly in your family who are more susceptible to the second time around becoming quite ill from dengue if they contracted more than once. So again, the telephone number is to call 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, and the WhatsApp line for messages and calls is 801-0271. 801-0271, area code 242, for those of you who are outside the Bahamas and want to contribute to this conversation today. So, in more details, what are the factors that are involved in the spread of dengue? What kind of research is being done to figure out how to combat dengue once and for all? What's being done? What kind of investigations are underway? And I'm not talking about here in the Bahamas. I'm talking about elsewhere, where people are really putting time and money and energy into trying to figure out how to battle and beat dengue fever once and for all. And also, we have to talk about treatment options. Okay, so in this clip that I'm about to play, we're going to learn again in more detail about the factors that are involved in the transmission of dengue. We're going to learn more about the research, the investigation that is happening from scientists who are trying to figure out how to, stop this out once and for all. And then we're going to learn more in detail about the options for treatment. And yes, again, I'm all for the natural, okay? But you're going to learn more about all options that are available right now for treatment, particularly if you are a person who has already come down from more severe reaction to dengue fever. Or if you know a loved one who's going through that, you want to pay close attention to this. So check this out.
Risk factors. Factors like living in or traveling to tropical areas can increase one's risk of exposure to this virus. The more high-risk areas include Southeast Asia, the Western Pacific Islands, Latin America, and the Caribbean. Prior infection with a dengue fever virus can also result in severe episodes of disease if infected again, with a high probability of developing dengue hemorrhagic fever. Investigation. Detailed investigations need to be carried out if the patient exhibits symptoms of dengue and has the aforementioned risk factors. Dengue virus infections can be confirmed by employing virological tests that detect the virus of their element, or serological tests that detect the substances produced in our body during the infection. The examples of virological methods include 1. Virus isolation. The patient's blood is taken to be grown inside the mosquitoes or their cells. After 2 weeks, the presence of the virus in the animal's blood indicates the virus infection. 2. Reverse transcriptase polymerase chain reaction, or RT-PCR methods. The purpose is to multiply the viral RNA by using enzymes several cycle times until it can be detected. In general, these tests are sensitive, but they require specialized equipment and technical training for implementing the test, which might not always be available in all medical facilities. The examples of serological methods are 1. NS1 detection. NS1 is a protein produced by the cells that are infected by the dengue viruses. 2. Enzyme-linked immunosorbent assays, or ELISA. It detects the antibodies that are produced by our body to fight the viruses. Treatment. The specific treatment for dengue fever is not available yet, but there are several general treatments that can be introduced to patients, such as antipyretics to reduce fever and painkillers to treat muscle or joint pain. However, NSAID or non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs like ibuprofen and aspirin should be avoided. They thin the blood and can exacerbate the prognosis of disease with hemorrhage risk. For severe dengue, intensive medical care by physicians and nurses can decrease the progression of the disease and the mortality rates from more than 20% to less than 1%. The management of the patient's body fluid volume is critical to severe dengue care.
Okay. So, I'm pretty sure that I'd like to believe that the persons who are that ill here in the Bahamas, a few persons who have been hospitalized, are receiving good quality care as per the standard of, treatment options. Now, you know that they talking about vaccines, right? Yeah, we love a vaccine in this world that we live in today. So we definitely going to talk about that a little later in the show and whether or not that is a viable option. But I found it interesting that, they're not so worried so much about the tourist who doesn't live in a tropical area or subtropical area like ours, who come for vacation. So in other words, even if they get bitten with a mosquito and are exposed, that one first time exposure, as we have already discussed, is probably going to be so mild that it's not a problem for them. So it's us who live in these regions who need to be more concerned because we're constantly being exposed to these mosquitoes. And so you want to make sure, again, that you are doing your part. And this is the reason why I decided to do this show today, because we get bogged down in a lot of things that can sort of grab our attention in this country, whether it be politics or social ills or crime, or we have a smorgasbord of things that we need to be concerned about. I understand it, I get it, and some people are like, I don't know if I want to pay attention to that. But my point of doing this show today is to make sure that you pay attention to it, because again, your health is your wealth. And even though we're only talking about a small percentage of the population, we still want to make sure that we are not a part of that small percentage, okay? Because we never know. You never know. And so I believe in informing people, giving you the information, and letting you do with it whatever you so will. But at least if you have the information, then it will put you in a better position to make better decisions. So that's really all today's show is about, helping you to make more of a contribution to protecting yourself and your loved ones and the rest of us from that pesky mosquito. So that's what we're dealing with today, talking about dengue fever for those of you who have joined us late. If you haven't already done so, please like and share the show. Let everybody know that GPS is on the air on Wellness Wednesday, and this is the topic that we are covering today, dengue fever, giving you more information than you would have been given by the healthcare professionals. At least I haven't seen anything that has gone more in depth. And if I have missed something, then I beg your forgiveness for speaking out of turn. But you can never have too much information, eh? So that's what we're dealing with today. Making sure that you have the information so you know how to protect yourself and your loved ones, and you know how to not contribute to the ongoing problem of breeding mosquitoes. So we're going to take a quick break. And then on the other side of the break, I'm going to play a couple of clips that go into the science and biology behind what happens to your body if you become infected with dengue. And you're going to be fascinated. It's really fascinating the way that virus works. It's not like your typical virus. So stay tuned for that. On the other side of the break, we're going to go into more detail about the science behind how it works, and more about the dangers if this is not your first infection. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors. Stay with us.
Global Paradigm Shift will return after this.
Your body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress, lack of exercise, and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system with the nutrients it needs to function effectively. But it's often hard to get these nutrients from food alone. Introducing fast-acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Longevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients to give your immune system extra support. Vitamin D helps balance the effects of zinc, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Longevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs, but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting, sugar-free, berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support. Zinc plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, paints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Trackline, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
It's gotten harder and harder to get your daily requirement of vital nutrients from food alone. Without additional vitamin and nutrient support, your health and well-being can suffer drastically. That's why Z-Radical was specifically formulated. It combines a blend of antioxidant-rich vitamins, minerals, and botanicals with the protective powers of fucoidan to help fill the gaps from lack of nutrients in your foods. The core of Z-Radical is fucoidan, a naturally occurring polysaccharide that helps stimulate immune reaction, protecting you against inflammation and oxidative stress. We harvest this powerful mineral-rich nutrient from brown seaweed, harvested only from the world's most pristine ocean waters to ensure the purest quality. It's then extracted using cold process technology to ensure maximum levels of bioavailability. Then we add essential vitamins that help to protect your cardiovascular and nervous systems and are crucial for optimal immune and neurological function. Z Radical also includes a proprietary blend of delicious antioxidant-rich fruits and berries. This great-tasting combination helps your body combat free radical imbalances that can contribute to a variety of degenerative conditions like arthritis and heart disease. Z Radical. Experience the power of fucoidan with antioxidant-rich berries, 8 essential vitamins, and more to provide you with potent health benefits. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm here. On this Wellness Wednesday, we're talking about dengue fever. Dengue fever is the subject on this Wellness Wednesday. And so, how do you get to be a part of this conversation? If you have a question or a comment, the telephone numbers to call are 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, and the WhatsApp line for messages and calls is 242-801-0271, 801-0271. We're streaming live on Facebook on the official Michelle Malcolm and the Global 99.5 FM pages, as well as our YouTube channels. And speaking of channels, check out Cable Bahamas 974. If you want to watch us on your TV screen, you can download the Global 99.5 FM app to your smart device and use that to stay abreast of all of our shows. Last but not least, listen by way of radio. And welcome to all of you, no matter how you're checking us out, whether it's radio, Facebook, YouTube, Cable Bomb, or whatever it is. Huge welcome to you all for tuning in. I really do appreciate you being here and being a part of our GPS clan. All right, so I want to give you some key facts about dengue fever, before we dive into our next clip. Dengue is a viral infection caused by the dengue virus, and it is transmitted to humans through the bite of infected mosquitoes. We all know that, okay? Now, did you know that about half of the world's population is now at risk of dengue, with an estimated 100 million to 400 million infections occurring each year? Half of the world's population, 100 to 400 million infections each year. Dengue is found in tropical and subtropical climates worldwide, mostly in urban and semi-urban areas. And while many infections are asymptomatic, and we talked about that earlier in the show, or produce only mild illness, infections can occasionally cause more severe cases and even death. And in the next clip that I'm going to play in a moment, you'll understand why. Prevention and control of dengue depend on vector control. And there is no specific treatment for dengue, severe dengue, and early detection and access to proper medical care greatly lower fatality rates of severe dengue. So, most people, like we said, who get dengue won't have any symptoms at all. But for those that do, the most common symptoms are high fever, headache, body aches, nausea, and rash. And most will get better within 1 to 2 weeks. But there are some people who develop severe dengue and need hospital care. So what is the difference between the person who only gets mild symptoms or no symptoms at all and the person who has to be hospitalized? What is different about what is happening in each body that can cause such a wide spectrum of responses? Well, this next clip that I'm going to play is going to go into detail about the science behind what that virus does when it gets into your body.
Dengue fever is a mosquito-borne disease caused by a virus of the same name. It's a part of the Flaviviridae family, known for its other famous members, yellow fever, West Nile, and Zika. It's also referred to as breakbone fever, but that should be the least of your concerns. What you need to worry about is a complete system shutdown. Most commonly found in tropical regions, dengue puts 40 to 50% of the global population at risk. With symptoms ranging from fever, rashes, painful joint and muscle aches, to vomiting, dengue can resemble the flu, but it can become life-threatening in a much different way.
I'm Shannon Bennett. I work at the California Academy of Sciences. I'm curator of microbiology and chief of science. And I study the genetic makeup of dengue viruses. I've been working on it since 2000, and I was one of the first people to look at large swaths of the dengue virus genome to pinpoint where key mutations were occurring to drive its spread and pathogenicity.
To understand how dengue spreads, it helps to start with how it gets in. Enter the mosquito, specifically a species called Aedes aegypti.
It's a day-biting mosquito. It actually prefers the crepuscular times of the day, so that's dawn or dusk. It will feed on multiple people. It might feed 3 or 4 times in its lifetime. And that gives the dengue virus ample opportunity to be passed between human hosts by a single infected female mosquito.
Now, what makes these types of viruses so quick to take off is their genetic architecture, which allows them to begin producing proteins immediately after they enter the host cell.
Dengue virus has been an interesting puzzle for a lot of scientists and clinicians. It is probably infecting almost 400 million people a year, as far as we know, but only a small fraction of people actually get sick. About 90 million a year. So we're not really sure why some people get sick and other people don't get sick.
Once the dengue virus gets in through the skin, it can take several days to a week to eventually find its way into your lymph nodes and then bloodstream. From there, it's just one big fast track to Flavivirus Town.
So dengue's primary target and the way it sustains itself in your body is in white blood cells. And these are macrophages and monocytes that are antibody receptor-bearing cells that the dengue virus uses to bind and enter the cell. The cell is naturally taking anything that's bound to its receptors and phagocytizing it, so basically pulling it into an internal cellular capsule. And once that happens, the pH of that capsule changes, and when the pH changes, and that lock and key relationship between the virus protein and the host cell receptor proteins experience that change in pH, a pore is formed, and through that pore, the virus genome enters into the host cytoplasm.
And from there, it's a pretty sophisticated version of copy and paste. The virus uses the host cell to duplicate itself, or as Dr. Bennett describes it, budding.
In contrast, many people are familiar with other mosquito-borne diseases like malaria. Malaria is a burster. At the sporozoite stage, as it's replicating in your red blood cells, it's copying itself to a great degree until basically your host cell explodes or bursts open and spreads sporozoites around. Dengue virus doesn't do that. It's a butter. It's working with the host cell and taking advantage of host cell energy and metabolism to create new virus particles.
Dr. Bennett and her team study the genetic differences between the 4 serotypes of dengue. Those differences and similarities are what makes co-circulating serotypes a dangerous cocktail, contributing to more severe episodes of the illness.
They are co-circulating today all over the world, but in the old days they didn't overlap so much. When they started to move around, we also saw more hemorrhagic fever and more severe forms of the disease. So one hypothesis is because we're being exposed to multiple strains of dengue throughout our lifetime, and that's creating this risk to develop severe disease.
And yes, hemorrhagic fever is just as bad as it sounds.
So what happens in a secondary infection is that those antibodies that you've produced to the first one don't bind as efficiently to the dengue virus. Instead of being neutralized in the endosome, it can enter the host cell more efficiently and create more virus. So what we think is happening is that it's creating more infected cells than you would have in the case of a primary infection or a re-exposure to that same primary serotype. because of the inefficiency and the lack of perfect match between the antibody and the new virus.
All right. So, how big a problem is this, according to the global figures? Well, it's a growing problem. That much we know. The incidence of dengue has grown dramatically around the world in recent decades, with cases reported to the World Health Organization increasing from 505,430 cases back in the year 2000 to 5.2 million cases by the year 2019. It's a huge increase. And the vast majority of cases are asymptomatic or mild, which means that likely the numbers are underreported because most people don't even know they have it. Um, and so many cases are also misdiagnosed as other illnesses. So, one modeling estimate indicates 390 million dengue virus infections per year, of which about 96 million manifest clinically. And another study on the prevalence of dengue estimates that 3.9 billion people are at risk of infection with dengue viruses. The disease is now endemic in more than 100 countries in the regions of Africa, the Americas, the Eastern Mediterranean, Southeast Asia, and the Western Pacific. And the Americas, Southeast Asia, and Western Pacific regions are the most seriously affected, with Asia representing around 70% of the global disease burden. So, dengue is spreading to new areas, including Europe, and explosive outbreaks are occurring. And local transmission was reported for the first time in France and Croatia in 2010, and imported cases were detected in 3 other European countries. So, because of the way that dengue is spread, it is very possible for someone to travel somewhere, become infected, and go home, and then a mosquito bites them and becomes infected, and then starts to spread it amongst others as it goes around biting people. Again, it's a female mosquito that needs your blood to fertilize the eggs. So, within the lifetime of a mosquito, I think it said that they will require blood at least 3 times within their lifetime in order to effectively fertilize their eggs. So, this is how it spreads. So, it's not a complete surprise that it is now seen to be spreading in other areas where it would typically be. So, the largest number of dengue cases ever reported globally was in 2019, and all regions were affected, and dengue transmission was reported in Afghanistan for the first time. The American region reported 3.1 million cases and more than 25,000 classified as severe. So again, out of 3.1 million, 25,000 is not a very big number. A high number of cases were reported in Bangladesh, which is 101,000 cases, in Malaysia, 131,000 cases, the Philippines, 470,000 cases, and Vietnam, 320,000 cases in Asia. Dengue continues to affect Brazil, Colombia, the Cook Islands, Fiji, India, Kenya, Paraguay, Peru, the Philippines, the Reunion Islands, and Vietnam as of 2021. And as we know, one of the reasons I decided to do this show today is because we're seeing it more and more here in the Bahamas increasing. And listen, our number is only 50, over 50. I don't want to say 52 because that number may have changed since that last report, but it's still a relatively low number. This is not to say, though, that we should just ignore it and not, you know, pay attention to what we can do to make sure that it doesn't get out of hand here in the Bahamas. So we definitely need to pay close attention to that. And again, that was one of the reasons why I decided to do this show today. So, why is it that some people don't seem to get as sick as others? What is the science behind that? And again, we're looking at this on a deeper level, not just the surface. I'm trying to give you some information that can empower you to better understand what is happening. So why is it when somebody is infected for the second time, it is so much more dangerous than the very first time? Well, here now is a clip explaining that phenomenon.
Typically, once your immune system fights off a disease, it remembers it for future encounters, and usually that works. But with dengue, immunity to one serotype doesn't protect you against a different serotype, and can in fact enhance the infection, making a second or even third encounter with the disease much worse. Because your immune system's memory is stimulated, but not a great match.
We think that that is what's causing this out of control immune response that accelerates and eventually leads to the hemorrhagic fever that we see, and even in some cases, shock syndrome. So dengue shock syndrome is another severe outcome of this overreactive pro-inflammatory immune response. One impact of having an overabundance of pro-inflammatory cytokines is that membranes become leaky, and when capillary beds become leaky, blood will flow out, and you start to bleed out into your capillary beds and into the tissues, and then fluids to flow into your bloodstream, causing potentially hypovolemic shock and death by dengue shock syndrome.
And both hypovolemic shock and fever can be deceptive.
The most frustrating phenomenon with dengue virus is that people seem to start to recover. They might have 3 to 4 to maybe 7 days of fever, depending on when they first exhibit symptoms. And then the fever is starting to go down. We can sort of see the diminishment of symptoms, and then hemorrhagic fever or shock syndrome can kick in very quickly after that.
So dengue is not something to take lightly, but Dr. Bennett says these extreme cases are still pretty rare. Of the nearly 500 million cases reported annually, only 500,000 are severe, with many countries reporting less than 1% fatality rate. Still, knowing the symptoms and ways to help prevent initial infection is key. And while there is a vaccine, there's still a long way to go.
The challenge with developing a vaccine for dengue is that you need to develop a vaccine that's effective against all 4 serotypes simultaneously. And this is very unusual. There are vaccines that can vaccinate against all 4 types, but they don't do it to the equivalent level. So you might be mostly immune to one and then a little immune to some of the other serotypes. And that too is not what we want.
So, understand that I am a huge proponent of your body's ability to handle stuff, particularly if your body is a healthy body. But as was the case of other viruses that caused havoc around the world, it was people who had some other kind of comorbidity who are even more at risk, because your natural immune system was already compromised. And so if your natural immune system was already compromised, and then something else is introduced that will put further strain on your natural immune system, then clearly your natural immune system is not going to be able to handle that as well as if it would have been able to handle it had you been healthier. So while, they're talking about vaccines, and, it's the same logic that they used when it came to the pandemic. Oh, we have to vaccinate. Well, Those of us who believe in the body's ability to heal itself said from the very beginning, okay, so what happens when you start to get variants? And the particular vaccine that you have developed doesn't address that variant. Well, you just heard the lady say it in the clip. That's the challenge when you put all your eggs in the basket of vaccination, especially if you're dealing with a virus that has variants. So, are you going to have to come out with a new vaccine every time there's another variant? It's not sustainable. It doesn't make sense. And I'm glad to hear that they are sort of acknowledging that when it comes to this, that is not, even the WHO is saying that that is not the best way to go. Surprise, surprise. So, key to this conversation is number one, making sure that you are not providing the mosquito, um, you know, easy access to water to lay the eggs. So, in other words, vector control, you're helping to keep the population down that way. But also, equally important is that you make sure that your natural immune system is good and healthy and strong. How do you do that? Micronutrients, eating a proper diet, cutting back on all the processed foods and the genetically modified foods and the fast foods and all the other bad stuff that's out there that is contributing to many of our people having a compromised immune system to begin with. Because the more compromised your immune system, the less able it will be to ward things off, including dengue. Now, also, you need to ensure that you're taking good care of your body um, by way of getting sufficient rest, avoiding too much stress, because all of these things, you would have heard me report on them before on this show, will contribute to a weakened immune system. You want to make sure that you're getting sufficient sunlight. Um, and you just want to make sure that you're taking better care of your body. So don't take for granted that, oh, yeah, I have this particular condition, but I take a medication for it, because the medication, the pharmaceutical medication, is really just managing your disease. It's not, even though it's making you comfortable, it's not addressing the root cause of the problem. And if you come across something like dengue, even if you're on medication to manage the disease, if your body is still not healing because of the fact that you're allowing the degeneration to continue, then you're going to have a problem. So the key is to make sure that you're taking very good care of your body. You're eating well, you're resting, you're exercising as much as possible. Not overdoing it, but getting some form of exercise in. And you are nutrifying your body with micronutrients. Not just any old supplements, because not all supplements are created equal, but high quality, potent, medical grade nutrition, micronutrients will help to strengthen your body, strengthen your immune system, and make your body more able to ward off um, viruses and diseases and etc. Anything that comes up against it. So again, I'm encouraged to hear the WHO admit when it comes to fighting off dengue that vaccine is not the answer. As you know, they love up a vaccine. And in the clip that we're going to play, In our next segment, it's going to explain more why vaccines just won't work in this situation. So we come back to you. You have to take some responsibility. And number one, making sure that these mosquitoes don't spread, don't have any place where they can lay their eggs to spread. And number two, making sure that you are taking good enough care of your body so that your natural immune system will be able to do more to help you not to become severely ill. Okay? You all know I'm a big proponent of that, of the natural remedies out there. But for many of you, you can only rely on the natural remedies because you are so sick with all these other diseases and not doing anything to reverse those other diseases that your immune system is already struggling. So you see, it's all everything that we've been preaching to you guys on this show about taking care of yourself more holistically and more from a natural perspective comes right back to that again. Right back to that again. You can't escape it. You can't escape it. Some of you trying real hard to figure out a way around it. But there really is no way around it. You have to take better care of your bodies, people. You have to. Because if you give your natural immune system a fighting chance, you'd be amazed at what it can do. So, take a break. When we come back, we're going to look at, in more detail, why vaccines is not the answer for dengue fever, and then more about prevention. How do we stop this? So we'll talk more about that on the other side of the break. Stay with us. This is GPS.
Global Paradigm Shift will return after this.
At Lee Air, safety is our #1 priority. Flying since 1996, we offer scheduled flights into Fresh Creek and Mangrove Key Andros and Great Harbor Key, Berry Island, twice daily, 7 days a week. Affordable charter services are also available to anywhere in the Bahamas and the Caribbean. Lee Air Charter Services. Call 225-3267, 702-7127, or 322-1317 for reservations.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 Hyperimmune Egg Powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
For all your building needs, it's Carib Construction and Project Management on Gladstone Road. We build it all. Schools, homes, hotels, and more, including structures requiring a Phase 3 electrical contractor. We also provide project management services. The first step towards your dream building begins at Carib Construction and Project Management. Call us at 376-1556 or 341-4466.
One of the things I love about the mailboat is their relationship with Bahamas Air. I can earn travel points on my international freight and redeem them when I fly.
For me, online shopping is easy, with Mailboat's U.S. addresses and regular freight delivery to Nassau. Plus, I can always prepay customs and freight, and they always notify me when my package arrives.
Yeah, a lot of people think the Mailboat is just for shipping, but they also offer a safe and secure storage facility at affordable rates, all in a central, convenient location.
We also offer passenger service into Freeport multiple times per week with a seating capacity of over 450 persons. With family movies on large screens, one hot meal included, and on-board lounge for snacks and soft drinks. We're the Mailboat. We're bridging people, products, and places.
Executive Printers is your one-stop shop for all your branding and customization needs. Letterheads, envelopes, business cards, invoices, share and gift certificates, rubber stamps, vouchers, funeral programs, brochures, flyers, banners, and promotional items like mugs, water bottles, mouse pads, and key rings, all with personable service and great quality. No project is too small or too large. For great turnaround and competitive pricing, make an executive decision. Call us at 393-5011.
Welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm here. Today on this Wellness Wednesday, we are talking about dengue fever. All that you need to know about that virus and how you can protect yourself and your loved ones from it. Numbers to call 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, and the WhatsApp line for messages and calls is 801-0271, 801-0271. We are streaming live to Facebook on the official Michelle Malcolm Facebook page, as well as the official Global 99.5 FM page. We're also streaming live to our YouTube channels and on channel 974 of Cable Bahamas. Please download the Global 99.5 FM app to your smart device and check us out there. And of course, you can listen by way of radio. And a huge welcome to all of you who are tuned in by those means. Okay. Dengue fever, all that we need to know about it so that we can make our contribution to protecting ourselves and our loved ones from it. So you will have heard prior to the break that the WHO has determined that the best way to go when it comes to fighting this thing off is not the vaccine route, even though the numbers have exploded internationally in terms of, the people contracting this thing. They realize that it would not be very effective. And so scientists have come up with some really innovative ways to try and control the mosquito population. And I'm really excited about some of the things that I'm hearing in this clip because this could work not just for controlling dengue, but boy, you go to some of these family islands during the summer months, and Lord help you. And don't miss and have type O blood because they love people with type O blood, those mosquitoes. So you'll be swatting all day, especially in some of our family islands. But what they are now working on to try to control dengue would be a godsend if it were to work to control the mosquito population across the board, dengue or not. So there's a lot of work that's being done to try to solve this problem. And I'm excited about some of the efforts to encourage prevention based on that research and that science. So here now is a clip about why vaccines are not the preferred method and also the new technologies that they are working on to try to prevent dengue and mosquito-borne illnesses on the whole.
Vaccination against dengue. The first dengue vaccine, Dengvaxia, or CYD-TDV, was licensed in December 2015 and has now been approved by regulatory authorities in around 18 to 20 countries. The use of the vaccine is targeted at populations living in endemic areas, ranging from 9 to 45 years of age, who have had at least one documented dengue virus infection previously. The vaccine is given in 3 doses over the course of 12 months, but its efficacy is a matter of debate. The vaccine is only approved for older children because 2 years after being vaccinated, the younger ones appear to be at increased risk of severe dengue fever and hospitalization. The World Health Organization, WHO, stresses that the vaccine is not the most effective tool. Prevention. A more important matter than treatment and vaccines is controlling the mosquito population and human exposure. So, to avoid getting dengue, our best shot is to avoid getting bitten by the mosquitoes carrying dengue. It is as simple as that. If you are a resident of or traveller to any tropical area where dengue fever is previously reported, prevention can reduce your risk of acquiring it, which includes stay in air-conditioned or well-screened housing, because the mosquitoes that carry dengue viruses are relatively more active from dawn to dusk. Wear protective clothing like a long-sleeved shirt, long pants, socks and shoes. Use mosquito repellents like permethrin to be applied to your clothing, shoes, camping gear and bed netting. And most importantly, reduce mosquito habitat. You can lower mosquito populations by eliminating habitats where they lay their eggs at least once a week and emptying and cleaning containers that hold standing water, such as planting containers, animal dishes and flower vases. Keep standing water containers covered between cleanings. Foreign aid. Recently, scientists from Australia and Indonesia are working together to fight the disease. They turn to another creature, a bacteria called Wolbachia. They inject the bacteria into the mosquito's eggs, breed them in the laboratory, and release them into the wild. Then, the spy mosquitoes will eventually mate with the natural, disease-ridden of their kind. Naturally, their babies will also carry the bacteria from the spy father. It has the ability to disrupt the reproductive process of the mosquito, while also reducing the lifespan of their offspring, preventing the next generation of mosquitoes from spreading dengue altogether. The early results are extraordinary. Adults in areas with previously released mosquitoes have 4 times less chance to have dengue disease, giving us the best hope so far to eradicate the dengue endemic.
Boy, we better find out how to get that thing in the Bahamas. Not just to control dengue, but boy, I'm sure people in Nicaragua and San Salvador and other islands would be very, very happy for that technology, because you're talking about something that could control mosquito populations, period. That would be a blessing. So hopefully they will continue to work on that, and we in the Bahamas will be blessed to get our hands on that technology to try to eliminate nothing worse than you trying to enjoy yourself and these mosquitoes just ruining your vacation, or and like I say, some people, they love their blood more than others. So I'm really encouraged by efforts that are being made in those 2 countries that they mentioned to try to kill them off at the source, which is to make sure that they can't that their children, their babies, are pretty much unable to spread disease and die quicker. It's a great way, I think, a great idea to control that population. So let's get into more details about prevention and control. They would have mentioned a few in that video a moment ago, and here's more information on that. We know that mosquitoes that spread dengue are active more so during the day. So lower the risk of getting dengue by protecting yourself from mosquito bites. How do you do that? The report just talked about it. Clothes that cover as much of your body as possible, which is With all this heat, it's like, oh man, you want me to wear all of that, but it is what it is. So you cover as much as your body as possible. Mosquito nets if sleeping during the day. Ideally, nets sprayed with some kind of repellent. Make sure that your window screens don't have any holes in them through which mosquitoes can gain entry into your home. Try to find some a good mosquito repellent. There are some really good natural ones out there that don't, because your skin absorbs whatever you put onto it, and so you got to be very careful with some of the ingredients and the traditional repellents, because that thing gets absorbed into your skin and enters your body, and that could cause other problems. But there's some really good natural products out there that will help to keep it down. You could use coils and vaporizers to try to keep the mosquitoes down. So if you get dengue, it's important to rest, drink lots of liquids, plenty of liquids. Use, you may have to take painkillers to deal with the pain. So if you have to, it is what it is. Avoid non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs like ibuprofen and aspirin, because they tend to thin out the blood. And remember, one of the clips talked about how one of the symptoms of severe dengue is bleeding. So you don't want anything that's going to thin out your blood even more, for obvious reasons. If bleeding is one of the symptoms that you're going to be dealing with. And watch for severe symptoms and contact your doctor as soon as possible if you notice any. Okay? So, we have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hello.
Hi, you're on the air.
Yeah, how you doing, Michelle?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, good. Repellent for mosquito is the neem. They have a spray made from neem leaf.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good.
Yeah, neem is pretty good.
And then also, like you said, I just finished doing a lot of reading the other day, or even before, is the papaya leaf to make the tea from that, or just put some leaves in your blend with some water, and make sure wash it off properly, and you just mix that up, and then also the moringa leaf. I'm not saying to take it every day, maybe every other day, because that helps to strengthen, especially the dry leaves, because the more the drier the leaves on moringa, the more potent all the vitamins and the zinc and everything goes up in it. So that's very good. And then something called colloidal silver, which is good, keep the immune system strong. But a lot of people say, "But Doug, if it can kill me, it can kill me." But I say, why you go to the doctor when you're in pain? Stay in your pain, stay in your suffering. You know this stuff is causing you pain and suffering, but you still run into the doctor. You know these foods are causing the sickness and everything in your body. And the saddest thing is, too, when you go to some of these doctors' office, they could put a plate on their stomach and eat off it. They just rest the plate. That's how big their stomach are. Or you see the pack of cigarette they smoking and all of that. But Michelle, great show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for calling. We're going to take a break. And when we come back from this break, I'm going to give you guys a home remedy that you can use, and you will be amazed at how effective it will be in keeping mosquitoes away from you. You'd be amazed. Stay with us. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors.
Global Paradigm Shift will return after this.
Blood sugar levels play a key role in your appetite, weight gain, and overall health. When you have a blood sugar spike, you can feel confused, dizzy, and even have increased cravings. eating carbohydrates, sugary or fatty foods, and not exercising can all cause blood sugar spikes. But now you have help in managing blood sugar levels. Sweeties by Youngevity was designed to help support healthy blood sugar levels so you can power through your day. It's a synergistic blend of minerals, herbs, and nutrients that have been proven to support healthy blood sugar levels. Sweeties includes chromium, an essential trace mineral that's known for its contribution to healthy blood sugar levels and improved metabolism of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Cinnamon bark has been included for its naturally occurring antioxidants and support of a healthy heart. And we've even added gymnema. It's been used in Ayurveda for centuries to help promote healthy blood sugar. All the ingredients in Sweeties work together to give the best support available for blood sugar control. Sweeties, the blood sugar support supplement from Youngevity that helps control cravings and manage blood sugar levels through your day. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, paints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blasted loud.
As you age, factors like health, weight, diet, and lifestyle can all impact your bones, joints, and general mobility. Even everyday exercise can lead to wear and tear on your body. Over time, you might start to experience stiffness or pain due to damaged joints or connective tissue. Ultimate Glucogel by Youngevity was created to help you limit the effects of wear on your joints. It delivers a daily dose of collagen-rich gelatin your body needs for joint elasticity and maintenance. Ultimate Glucogel contains a 1-to-1 ratio of gelatin and glucosamine sulfate, which is a key building block of your bone matrix, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, and connective tissue. Gelatin's unique blend of amino acids not only help with muscle and joint health, but also has been shown to provide additional benefits for the brain, skin, and hair. Ultimate Glucogel. Natural, optimal daily support for joint health. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Oh, 99.5.
Welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM on this Wellness Wednesday. Michelle Malcolm in your company. Clearly, I'm coming from home and you can hear the ice cream truck, right? Okay. My apologies for that. All right, so home remedy. How do you keep mosquitoes away from you? Now, I don't know why this works. I can't explain to you the science behind it or what the combination. I can't tell you none of that. I don't know why it works, but it works. Get yourself a lemon. It probably will work with other citrus as well, but I know for sure a lemon, not so much a lime, but a lemon, right? Cut that lemon in half. Then get yourself some whole cloves. You know, the cloves that we use, say, if you're making, a Christmas ham, that you put the cloves in, the whole cloves. Get yourself a handful of those whole cloves. And push the whole clove into the lemon, not the part with the skin, but the part with the, inside of the lemon. Put several of them throughout that, in that lemon. And you put that next to you on, wherever you are, whether it's on your nightstand or whatever. I don't know what it is about that combination. Lemon, cut in half, whole cloves stuck into it. I can't tell you the science behind it. I do not know why it works. But that is a very, very powerful repellent for mosquitoes. When I first heard it, I was like, yeah, whatever. Y'all always coming up with these newfangled theories, right? But I figured, what if I got to lose? Because I'm one of those people who mosquitoes just absolutely love my blood. I could be in a room with 1,000 people, and I'm the only one who's swatting. They coming after me. So I just got the kind of blood that they like. And so I'm constantly looking for natural ways to fight them off. And I read about this lemon and cloves thing somewhere. I don't remember where I read it. I really don't. And at first I was skeptical. I was like, yeah, here we go again. Um, you know, yeah, right. But I figure, well, why not try it? What it gonna hurt? Ain't gonna hurt, And I decided to give it a try. Bertha says, wow, that's strange. Strange indeed, Bertha. I can't tell you why it works. I really don't know the science behind it. Um, but I tried it. And I was absolutely amazed. Yes, Claude. Claude says, wow, I learned something today, lemon and clove. Gotta try that. I'm telling you, I was absolutely amazed at how effective that thing was. I was like, are you kidding me? Mosquitoes absolutely hate that combination. Again, don't ask me why, because I really can't tell you why it works. Um, I have no idea why it works, but I tried it, and it really is very, very effective. Um, and then there's some plants that you can um, plant around your house, particularly around your windowsills, that also serve as repellents to mosquitoes. Um, and I'm just pulling it up now. Let's see. Let me go back. It says 12 plants that repel mosquitoes, 12 plants and herbs that naturally um, repel mosquitoes. Let me scroll down here. So citronella grass, they don't like that very much. Lavender, lavender is very, very effective against mosquitoes, and it smells good. So imagine if you have a box, what you call those things, like you put around the windows and you can plant um, flowers and stuff in them. Lavender, they hate. Even lavender oil, they do not like lavender. Marigolds is another one that will keep mosquitoes away. Mint, the mint plant, they don't like the smell of it. Eucalyptus, same thing. The smell of it, for some reason, repels mosquitoes. Bee balm is another one. Floss flower is another one. Basil, the plant basil, they do not like the smell of it. It is a repellent for them. Catnip is another one that mosquitoes do not like. The flowers called lantana, Lantana. That'll keep them away. Scented geranium is another repellent that you can use. It's natural. Rosemary, the rosemary you cook with? That same one. Um, Again, the smell of it, there's something about it that they don't like. Um, so those are some of the things that you can use that will keep mosquitoes away. So there are some natural things that you can do. So between all of those plants and herbs and flowers that you can plant around your windowsill or in your gardens or wherever, um, and you fight them on the outside, and try that lemon and clove thing. Again, cut the lemon down the middle and stick in the whole cloves. And they will not come near that thing. I, I was amazed at how effective that was. And then, like the last caller said, you can use neem. Neem is something that you can put onto the skin, and that'll keep them, off of you as well. You want to go as much as possible with the natural remedies because the other stuff, while it might be effective, remember your skin is your body's largest organ, and whatever you put onto your skin, you will absorb into the body. So you got to be very, very careful on what um, chemicals you put in your body if you repeatedly putting on some of the over-the-counter insect repellents, mosquito repellents. You got to be careful. If you want to go natural, now you have some uh, remedies that you can use that that will help you to keep the mosquitoes at bay. So let's all do our part, people. Um, yeah, everybody's talking about the lemons and cloves. I'm telling you, that thing works. I've tried it, and I was like, "What?" I could not believe how effective that was. It's something about that combination. Can't tell you what it is, but something about that combination. They will stay far from you. So get yourself some lemons. And again, it may work with other citrus. I don't know, but lemons in particular, not limes, lemons. And you put some whole cloves, stick them into the lemon. I've actually seen some photos online with them actually sticking the clove through the skin of the lemon, and they say that's effective too. I've never tried it that way. I've cut the lemon in half and stuck the clove into the lemon, and it works wonders. It works wonders. Um, so Claudette says, yes, Michelle, even the mosquito coil and raid spray and other sprays are not good to use. You just got to be careful because whatever you are exposed to and you take it in, that gets into your system. And, once it gets into your body, if it ain't, something natural, then you're going to have some kind of side effects. And that could build up over time. So, as much as possible, do it the natural way. And again, don't make it easy for mosquitoes to spread. Go around your house. Make sure you don't have anything that has standing water. And listen, they don't need a whole lot of water to lay those eggs. Just a little bit of standing water, and they will do what they need to do. So be very, look carefully. Don't just assume that it has to be a big container. It could be just a little bit of water settling somewhere where they could lay those eggs. So make sure you do your part. Walk around your house. Make sure you don't have anything that is gathering water where they could lay those eggs. And then let's just pray the Ministry of Health get that thing where the last clip was talking about where they mate the females with these, I guess, males who are sterile or whatever. And of course, they're not sterile, but have this thing that will cause their offspring to die quicker and not be as dangerous. Okay. Okay, Amos says, great show, Michelle. You did not venture the dry coconut bark is natural old days. I didn't know that. Thanks for the knowledge. I didn't know that. And Dale says, I never use aerosols, not trying to breathe in all those chemicals. All right. So if you know of a home remedy that works, go ahead and put that information in the comments on our Facebook page so other people can take advantage of it as well. I just learned something today about the dry coconut bark. I did not know that. But there are lots of home remedies that you can use that will keep those things off of you. All right? So that's the show for today. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to have another thought-provoking show scheduled for you tomorrow, so be sure to tune in and make GPS a part of your afternoon routine. Until then, I'm Michelle Malcolm. Thank you so much for tuning in. And God willing, I'll see you guys tomorrow, 2 to 4 p.m. right here on Global 99.5 FM. Take care, everybody.
Global 99.5 FM reminds our listeners that the views and opinions expressed on this show